Okay, so we're learning the Sicha of, this was Sunday, the 23rd of Tamuz, the year Tafshin Chav Bais, 1962. So the Rebbe starts off the Fabrengen. He says, Nignu Nigun Simcha, Mahalach HaNigun Amad K'vay Kedush Maracham Yadmor, K'vay Kedush Admor Shlita V'rakad Al Mekoyme B'Simcha Rabba. They said that he started with a lively song, and the Rebbe right away started off. He was dancing, standing up, dancing in his place. And then he asked for them to sing the song Avinu Malkeinu. Hamaimer hachasidus harisha in Sha'amar Rabbeinu Nisienu. The first mimer, Chasidus, that my father-in-law said, that means the Rebbe, the Kvekters Merachami Admer, the previous Rebbe, Balagi Ulav Asimcha, the person, meaning the Rebbe who's celebrating his redemption and a day of joy. After he received the news of his being free. So the first mimer that the Friedrich Rebbe said was Haschalase al Pasuk started with the verse Hashem li ba'izri, God is with me in ba'izri, in helping, vani ereb Sinai, and I will see, so to say, my enemies. He'll be able to the enemies of Hashem will see their fall. A mimer nitfas kvar b'kuntroisim. The mimer that the Rebbe said Hashem li ba'izri, vani ereb Sinai is already been printed. By At L'Yetzel B'Tfus Pam Sheni, the Rebbe says now in 1953, they republished the mimer again a second time. B'negei l'klos ha'inyan yiduber l'kamon kitzer b'negei l'klos ha'inyan yiduber l'kamon kitzer v'nekudas ha'mimer. We'll talk a little bit about what the mimer says. The Rebbe says I'll get to more details of the mimer later on in the Fabrengen, but now the Rebbe says he just wants to mention a point of the mimer. That it says in the mimer of the previous Rebbe, that what helps a person in life is the different things, the birurim, the things that a person has elevated from mundane to holiness. This ends up being the true help of a person. Like it says that students, which you teach, are called children. They help a person. When you have students, they help a person in all their things. Especially when you need to have a battle with an enemy. And who's the enemy? From your evil inclination. The true enemy of a Yid is his or her Yetzer Hara. So the Rebbe is saying that the mimer, the Rebbe will talk about the details of the mimer later, but the mimer talks about over there that that God is going to be with me as a help. And what is the help of a Yid? Is the deeds that he or she does by separating and b'mevar and elevating the things of mundane to the world. That ends up being what helps a person, especially in their journey, specifically with the Yetzer Hara in their own challenges of life. And the Rebbe says he's going to connect this to a story like this. There was a Fabrengen in the month of Tamuz, Kan America, already when the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe arrived in America. Sipur Bala Geula Vasimcha. The previous Rebbe told the Bala Geula, the Friedrich Rebbe who's celebrating his redemption and joy, that there was once a gathering by his father, meaning the Rebbe Rashab, the Rebbe Nishmaseidin, which is the Rebbe Rashab. At this gathering, one of the Chasidim of the Rebbe Rashab, Sholas Admor Nishmaseidin, asked the Rebbe Rashab, Mahu Chasid. It's a famous story. What is a Chasid? What is a Chasid? How do we define a Chasid? The Heishiv Admor Nishmaseidin, and the Rebbe Rashab answered, Chasid hu Lamternsik is a lamplighter. What is a lamplighter? Ha'ish ha'ilech barachav is the person who walks the streets those days. The hadik panaseh to light the lights. It means there was the street lights in the street. So those days they weren't electric; they were lit by actual fire, lit up by fire. So some person had a job that he would go to the panis, to the different lights around the city to put on the fire for the night, so there should be vision. Pam Hoya said, the Rebbe explains, once upon a time the idea was, the system was, that on the streets of the city, especially the larger cities, Haikavu Panasim, Lameternis, Panarn. There was these panasim is a light, like a street light. And there was a person who his job was panasim to light the street lights lifnei erev as it was about to get dark. So as the evening was coming in. The person had to walk with a long stick because the lamps were high up. Because the lamps were high, so it could give light out to the street. On top of this stick, there was a fire. So he had the fire at the end of this large stick, and he would put the large stick to connect it to light the lamp, the lamp that was up high, the street lamp. And the idea, obviously, why did we have the street lamps? To light up the darkness of the night. This person was called the lamplighter, panasai, a person who lights the panas, who lights the lamps. So a lamplighter. And the previous Rebbe said, if you want to know what a Chasid is, v'zehu Chasid. That's what a Chasid is. So the Rebbe Shab continued. What is a Chasid? A Chasid is mishalech imakal orach. You have to walk with a long stick. At the end of the stick, there's a fire. And the Chasid knows the fire is not his. His job means he doesn't own the fire. He uses the fire. His job is to take the fire that's not his and light the street lamps around the city. So that's the answer. The Chasid said, what is a Rebbe? What is a Chasid? The Chasid asked the Rebbe Shab, what is a Chasid? A Chasid is a lamplighter that has a stick at the end of a fire. At the end of the stick is a fire. Fire is not his. Nevertheless, he uses that fire to light the lamps on the street. Okay, what happens is that's if the person's in the city. So v'ima panas nimtza vispe. What if the panas, the lamplighter, finds himself in a vispe, which means a midbar shamayim, not in a city with his lamplights, but in a deserted area. So what do you do then if I'm in a deserted area? If your chassid is in a deserted area. So the Rebbe Shab answered, it doesn't make a difference. If you're even if you're in a vispa, which is a deserted area, find the lamplight and light the lamplight there as well. Because when you light up the deserted area, the people will be able to see that they're finding themselves in a deserted area. And the Rebbe Shab answered, the desert, the deserted area should be ashamed of being a deserted area in front of the lamplighter. So the lamplighter comes in and lights up the street, even if it's a deserted area. And the idea is, one is to give light, but that you should see it's a vispa, it's a deserted area. Otherwise, you think you're in a normal place. And it should be ashamed that that's where he finds himself. So the Chasid says, okay, what about if the street lamp is in the sea? What do you do then? So the Rebbe Shab answered, you got to take off your garments because you have to go into the sea. Jump into the water. You have to light the lamp light in the sea. So the Chasid asked the Rebbe Shab, obviously talking in a kind of code. So the Chasid asked the Rebbe Shab, is this a Chasid? A Chasid is a lamplighter that's ready to go even to a deserted area and even to the sea. The Rebbe Shab stopped and he thought, he says in Yiddish, the Rebbe Shab went into deep thought. And after he was thinking for a bit, that's a Chasid. So the Chasid adds, so the Chasid says to the Rebbe Shab, talking about himself, I look around, I don't see lamplights. He's saying a Chasid is a person who lights a lamplight. I don't find any lamplights. So the Rebbe Shab answered him very sharply, you don't see lamplighters. You don't see lamps because you're not a lamplighter. If you're a lamplighter, you would see the lamps. So the Chasid asks, Keitzid nasim panusai, if I'm not a lamplighter, how do I become a lamplighter? So the Rebbe Shab answers, Yesh lahaschel mi'atzmei. First start on working on yourself. Lotzeis mihag shama. Get out of your physicality. Areis gain from grubkeit. Get out of your coarseness. Wash yourself off. Then you'll see the next person is a lamp. If you yourself are full and dirty, you're not going to see in the next person that person is a lamp. Because if you yourself are still coarse and very into physicality and physical things, all you see is gashmias. You only see physicality. Like Hashem is adanim. And the Rebbe says, as mevert edel, you get a little more refined. Then you'll see the other person is also refined. And then you could see that there's something to deal with. There's a person that needs to be lit up. The Chasid didn't give up. And he continued to ask the Rebbe Rashab. Again, they're talking in a code. Obviously, the idea being is that a Chasid's job is to light the lamp of a Yid. So the Chasid said, how far do I have to go? What if the Jew is in the Midbar Shamim, is in a deserted area? He says, you have to go there and light the lamp. What if the person's in the sea? You have to go there and light the lamp. He says, but I don't see lamps. He says, because you're the problem. It's not the problem there's no lamps. If you were a little more refined, you would see the lamp in the next person. So the Chasid continues to ask, can I grab the other person by the throat? The Rebbe Shab answered, no, you can't grab the next person by the throat. You could take him by the lapel, by the collar. Okay. Ad kan hu asipur. This is the story. Shasipur haRebbe Nasi, that the Rebbe the Nasi, meaning the previous Rebbe, told Mashashama Miyaviv. He heard the story from his father, meaning the Rebbe Rashab. Hanasi oidis divrei tshuvas lechasid, about the Rebbe Rashab's reply to Chasid. Ubagdama, the Rebbe says, Avshim regel hachasid hashoyel ef shaladas im dvarav hayim mechubanim b'chol pratim. It's hard to tell if this Chasid, in his questioning of the Rebbe Rashab, Chaim, understood really everything he meant on all the questions to ask it with all the details. It doesn't make a difference about the Chasid meant in the questions, but more the answers that came from the Rebbe, meaning the Rebbe Rashab, which is the Nasi of the generation. But Rebbe Nasi, the Reinu Sipras Advarim, and the Rebbe the Nasi, the son of the Rebbe Rashab, told us the story. Heinous Ashailis, it doesn't just say the answers of the Rebbe Rashab, but also the questions of the Chasid, the Heinous Achuvas and the replies. And later it will be publicized the story in a way that one could learn from the story. Is how removing is understood. The idea isn't that we learn from the story in generally that a Chasid is a lamplighter and has to find the lamp in someone else. We have to analyze every detail of the story, because if the details were told, means that in the details is part of the lesson. As is said many times, that all things, even if it just seems like it's simple talk, chulin, meaning it's mundane talk, or choil talks, weekly talks of a Talmud Chacham, it's not the Torah. He wasn't teaching a Torah. It was a conversation. If it's a secret of the Torah, if maybe it's just a drasha. If it was said by a person who's a reliable person, bar meaning a Rebbe, we have to find that even in the revealed parts of Torah, there's a lesson that we can connect to in this story. That this could be applied to either an halacha or a custom, because we know the customs by Jewish people is part of Torah. So we're going to go through a little bit of the story. Then I want to skip fast forward to a second part. So too is if it's the details of this story. What is panas? What is a panas? So a lamp is koi al nishmasei shekol echad Yisrael. The lamp is the soul of every Yid. Like it says, ner havaya What is the lamp? What's the light of God? Nishmas Adam, the soul of man. The kivan to the nefesh hashenis b'Yisrael uchelik elikayim mal. Because we know the second part of the chelik, meaning the second nefesh, the nefesh alikis, is literally a part of God. Like the Alter Rebbe adds, mamish, it's actually a part of God. So if our soul is part of God, therefore it's called the light of God. Ner panazeh, this lamp that is in every yid, which has a nefesh alikis, a godly soul. It could be that it means the lamp, the soul is the lamp. But like in a lamp, it could be that the lamp is lit or not lit. So it could be a lamp that's been lit, umeir, and gives off light. Or on the other hand, it could be a ner she'eni dalik. It's not lit, and if it's not lit, it doesn't give off light, umeir. It's still a light. A light, it means a lamp is a lamp. It's either a lit lamp or not lit lamp, but it's a lamp. What's the difference if it's a lit lamp or not? When a lamp is lit and giving off light, then it's doing its job. And that's why the light is here. Means, why does a lamp exist? The whole purpose of a lamp is to give off light. So when the lamp is lit, it's fulfilling its purpose. Otherwise, why is it here? It's not a design. It's not a piece of furniture. It's to give off light. So when it's lit, it's doing what it's there for. Why was the lamp existed? It's doing its job when it's lit. And what does it mean to give light? The idea of the lamp is not just that the lamp is lit, but that the lamp gives off light that others can see. But before you lit the light, the lamp, the Rebbe says in Rivaldik, it has all the things, potential. But in actual, it means you look at a lamp until you can say this is a great lamp, a great flashlight, a great light, all these things. But if it doesn't give off light, it's all potential, it's all b'koyach. Is shum davar, you don't have anything from it. The very fact that there's a lamp with all the qualities, and you say the best bulb and the best fire and the best quality oil, whatever it is, all the things, and that glass is clear and it's so high in its position, all the things is potential. But if it's not lit, what does the other person have from it? It only has that if it was lit, it would give off light, but it's not giving off light, so what's the difference to me? The Rebbe says, Yecheli is ner sheyesh bekol hatchunis shel ner. You can have a lamp that has all the qualities and all the details of a lamp. If it's not lit, it's not lit. What's this mean in a person? It could be you have a very high potential in your soul. But if you're not utilizing your soul to become a lamp that gives off light, so you're not creating anything, any environment of light for someone else. Because we have, for whatever reason, certain lamps that have all the potential but they're not lit, so there's the person that their job is to light the lights. Means, why is there a lamplighter? Is only because there's lamps that are not lit up. So the lamplighter has to go and find those lights, those lamps that haven't been lit yet, and to light them up. This is what a Chasid is. A person may consider and think that should die shafkiyas atzmi. It's enough that I worry about myself. I wish I was able to do everything that is expected of me. In fulfilling the 248 positive commandments and being careful in the shasa mitzvah and making sure I don't violate any of the 365 prohibitions. So a person may say, why is it my business to know and find out if there's lamps that are not lit out? Let me look at myself. Nevertheless, we tell the person, you have to go look out and find if there's any lamps out there that are not lit up. Well, say not just to know to take numbers, but to go and light it. The notwithstanding the fact in the initial approach, that notwithstanding the fact initially that while I'm thinking about someone else, I could have been thinking about myself. How could I do better in my job? So instead of going and spending my time looking and helping the next person, I could have, it's not like I'm perfect, so I could have used this time to help myself. But I can't do that because I'm preoccupied. You can't do two things at once. I'm thinking about someone else. I have to give up on my own benefit and perfecting myself and trying to find and spend time and find and light the light of someone else. Page 132. Ubefrat specifically, if I'm going to be successful in helping the next person is not 100%, I'm only going to try. If you really apply, but with yourself, you're in charge. So you can make it 100% certain if you're going to work on yourself or not. But if you're going to find the next person, or if you're going to be successful in lighting the candle of the next person, it's not a sure thing. Because at the end of the day, the next person has free choice. So much so that God, so to say, is dependent on that person of making the right choice. That God says, choose life. That's a choice you have to make. And because the next person could choose to be affected or not by your efforts, it's not a sure thing that you're going to be successful. HaKadosh Baruch Hu only helps a person in making the right choices, but the choice itself is made by the person. But the choice itself, he biyadai, is the person's choice. Even more so. So that's if Hashem is trying to help a person. Even more so when another Jew comes and wants to slide up this next person's soul. But the person being that person has a choice to be affected or to respond to your help, that you're trying to help him light his candle, his lamp. Are you going to be? It's not a sure thing if you're going to listen. If the person is going to listen to you, to be that your words will be effective or not. When it comes to working on yourself, we have the promise. If a person wants to purify themselves, we help him. You know, if you want to purify yourself, as long as you just want to get to purify yourself. God helps them to be successful in the battle with the evil inclination. Telling the person, I've created the Yetzer Hara, and I've created remedies to deal with him. And each person was given the tavlin, meaning again the remedies, and the ability to be successful on the Yetzer Hara. If you just want to do so truly. Like it says, if you try, if you put your gear, you're going to find. Yisayim is even more than that. If a person says, I tried and I didn't find a way to help myself, we don't believe that person. There's no such fact. That if you want to help yourself, you're not going to be able to be helped. It's a proof that you haven't done properly. And you haven't put in enough effort. A person seemingly could say that, well, I'm going to go out and look for the light of another person, which is a questionable if I'll be successful or not, instead of working myself. First, fix yourself and then fix someone else. So the Rebbe says, besides the fact that even if you were successful, you have to worry about yourself before the next person. There's even a bigger problem that with yourself at least is a sure thing. With the next person, it's a questionable. If you're going to be effective on the next person, is a doubt. If you really wanted to, is in bimatzasa. And if you really wanted to, and Hashem is going to help you, you're going to be successful. So then there's a question, halachically, how could I even allow myself to give up on myself and take off time that I could work on myself? I'm not perfect. To go work on someone else, that's a doubt if I could approach that person. So the answer is, this defines a Chasid. That's why it's not a simple thing. When the Chasid of the Rebbe Rashab asked the Rebbe Rashab, what is a Chasid? He says, this is a Chasid. A Chasid who's ready to give up a sure thing, working on yourself. You guide to Mitzvah, if you're in a toil, you're going to find to maybe try to help someone else. Maybe I will be successful. I won't be successful. That's a Chasid. He says Yedua. He says it's known. Sipur Hachsidim Sheshol Eitz Rabbeinu Zak Ma Chasid. The students once asked, the Chassidim once asked the Alter Rebbe, what is a Chasid? The Heishiv and the Chasid answered, Shachasid du Mish Mevate Al Tevis Atzme Kedei Lasses Tevis Lezulas. That a Chasid is, like the Rebbe Shab says, is ready to give up on their good benefit for themselves in order to help another person. Vehevi Rayel Dover, and he brings a proof to this. Minigla the Torah from the revealed parts of Torah. The Isa Gemara, the Gemara teaches us Gimel Dvar Nemra B'Tzipernayim. There's three types of way of how a person should handle their nails. Sarfam, if a person burns their nails, is a Chasid. However, and if you bury them, you're a tzaddik. Zarkan, if you just throw them on the street, you're a Rasha. Zarkan Rasha, why would I be a Rasha if I just throw my nails on the street? The thing, the custom is that if a pregnant woman possibly walks on nails, it could cause her to miscarry. So you're Rahman al-San, God forbid. So therefore, Rasha doesn't care about a woman maybe possibly hurting her chances of having a healthy pregnancy. That's a Rasha. So the tzaddik, Karvan, who buries them is not a Rasha, because he puts it away. He or she puts it away, covers it in the ground. Even Shakisa Sipanayim Ba'afra covers it in the ground. That's not the best way. Even though you're called Shlachei Nikarak Tzaddik, he's called a Tzaddik V'lei Chasid, not a Chasid. Why? What's wrong with burying it? Burying it is not a sure thing. What's going to happen if someone's going to come and undig and uncover these nails, and then there'll be a vulnerability to a pregnant woman. From only when a person burns them, so you get rid of them, they're not around anymore. So there's nothing you could, they can't come back. We won't be concerned that maybe they'll be revealed. The thing is that this is what the Alter Rebbe says. There's a problem when a person has to burn their nails. If you burn it, it could cause a person damage. You're burning the person. You're burning the thing. So therefore, the person's ready to sacrifice their own benefit, even if it's going to hurt them, because to get rid of to help the next person. The difference is like this. Why is this called a Chasid? Because when you burn the tzipernayim, you burn the nails, and that could maybe harm you by burning it. You could get burnt, causing a fire. Is something that could happen to you. But if you don't burn them, and you only bury them, then it's a question the next person doesn't get hurt. The pregnant woman. And we don't even know for sure. It means most likely they won't reveal themselves. They'll stay buried in the ground. So why does the Chasid have to possibly burn themselves, hurt themselves? Let them bury it, and hopefully it won't be revealed. Someone else won't undig it. Nevertheless, Chasid Sarfim, the Chasid doesn't take any chances. Even if he could get hurt, and only possibly the next person might get hurt, he burns it, or she burns it, the Chasida. That's the whole point of a Chasid. He's careful to burn it. Alpha Bisha Mazikla, even though it's harmful. He's giving up on his own for the benefit of someone else. Even if it's just a doubt, if the other person is going to benefit, so to say, by burning it as opposed to burying it. This is also the answer the Rebbe Shab said, that a Chasid is a lamplighter. He goes to try to light the lamp of another person. Limrais, even though notwithstanding, if the person's going to say, 1 second, who asked you to touch my light? Get away from my light. Get away from me. Don't try to light my lamp. And even though not only are you questionable if you're going to be successful, or the person's going to allow you to light his lamp, at that time you're cutting yourself off from things that you could be preoccupied with helping yourself. We're not just talking about enhancing yourself. Maybe there's things that need fixing in yourself. But the question is like this. Still, we have to understand. If we know that the lamplighter, and that's a Chasid, has to go light the lamps, You have to add good, meaning when you light another person's lamp, you're bringing more good and holiness in the world. Hare apanas, the lamp has apanas hazulas hu bal b'chira. L'chur ketzet yeh hadlakas apanas b'bchira ba b'shah sheba hapanas yomad umeiraisai. So so the question is like this. We still have to understand. Alpha P again. Even though we know that the lamplighter has to go and try to light the lamps, and that's part of the commandment, meaning to say to add good in the world. Hare panas, the lamp, zulas of the other person who bal b'chira. At the end of the day, he's a choice. How could I choose to light the next person's lamp? The person has to want to be lit up. How could so he's saying how could the lamp be lit up to someone else's fire? So and that the Rebbe Shab answers shapanasoi the lamplighter knows it's not his fire. Even if the lamplighter is lighting all the lamps, afterwards, once it's lit, once it's initiated, after it's lit and it's lighting up, the oil and the wick is lit. It's not my fire. It's not the fire of the lamplighter that's constantly lighting up. All he's doing is igniting the light, so the light of the person should be lit up. It's the lamp that's lit up. The lamp has everything ready, has the oil and the wick. The whole job of the lamplighter is he takes something from the outside. It's not like he's saying, sorry, he doesn't take something from the outside and create the light. The light is there, all the essentials are there. He awakens what he has. The lamp that's out there has all the qualities. The yid out there has all the qualities, has the neshama. All you're doing is you're not giving the person a neshama. The light, when you put a fire, you're not giving the person the neshama. The person has the neshama. You're just revealing and lighting the neshama that the person has. Climber, the Rebbe means to say, Yesh you're doing a favor for the next person. You're lighting up their soul. That's of course the act of kindness and love. What you're really doing at the end of the day is only revealing the nekudas hayadis, the essential Jew that's there already. To bring it from potential to actual. But the light is lit up alone. The person becomes lit alone because he has all the qualities, she has all the qualities. You're just lighting it. And this helps the person. That you shouldn't come to ego. When he's look at the person I created. You didn't create that person. The person has all the qualities before you came around. You just revealed those qualities, and the person's now using their koiches that they were given themselves by Hashem to reveal their light. But you just helped ignite it. This helps. A person shouldn't come to ego. From the work that you've done, that you lit up the other person. Be a dua when you know. You're just a stick. You're like you're like a monkey. You're taking a fire that was never yours in the first place. It was God's. When everything you're doing is about to beautify yourself, of look what I could do. People should call you a great person, a Chasid, a Rav. Then that doesn't allow for you to have a fire at the end of the stick. When you approach the next person, not to give them the fire, but to light their fire, to reveal their candle. Then you're a true lamplighter. You have to know who you are. You're taking a fire that's not yours. You're lighting a candle with all the qualities that are not yours. All you're doing is igniting the fire. That's what a chasid is. As the Rebbe Shab said, you're giving up on yourself. It's not like you're creating something. And it's not even sure that you're going to be able to light the candle. You're going to be able to light the lamp. It's all for the benefit of the next person. I just want to skip a little further, if you don't mind, if you have a few minutes, skip to page 157. Sorry, 156. At the end, 156 in the bottom. So after the Maimer, the Rebbe said in the pasuk of this week's parsha, meaning in Parshas Balak, it says, "K'miraysh sur merenu sur umigvais ashurenu." So it says in the Medrash, "K'miraysh sur merenu." What does it mean? Elo aves. These are, what did we see? We see the fathers. Mashal Melech. In fact, it's an example of a king. Shahaya mivakish livneis medina. He wanted to build a city. Va'alitin hayisoid. He tried to build a foundation to put the city on. V'haya maim oilim, and the water was coming up, wasn't allowing for the foundation to stand. Ad v'nimtza sham tzur godly, had to find the foundation of stone. Kach mitchila, so too, given shaboa avis v'zachu. Amar Kadosh Baruch Hu elanim mechayin oilim. When Hashem saw the fathers, Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov, and the mothers, He said, on them I'm going to build the world, because through them they're going to be the foundation that's sore in a world that's seemingly being sucked in. They're going to be the solid, and on that I'm going to build the Jewish people. That's going to be the purpose of creation. The Rebbe says, what is the whole point of the creation of the world? Is Tushlam Abias Mashiach will be complete when the coming of Mashiach. Just like in the beginning of creation, it started off as the merit of the fathers, the tzur. So too, the completion of the world. Bias and Mashiach, when it comes to Mashiach, is also going to be in the merit of our forefathers. Kedivrei Navi, as the prophet says, whoever calls out of my name and my covet, and Mufarish Targum, and the Uncle says, if you call out to our fathers, our righteous fathers, is of this luhnisim, I'll make you miracles. Miracles happen when you call out to the schus avis. This is all because of your fathers, HaTzadik, and the righteous. That my name is on them, like it says, Lekei Avram, Lekei Yitzchak. And for my honor I've created them. I've set them for revelations and miracles. The Rebbe says the pasuk call a nikr b'shmi. It comes after, it follows other verses. That talks about the redemption. It says, from the east I'm going to bring your children. And from the west I'm going to gather you in. And God says to the north, to give, don't disrupt. He tells to Taiman, which is the south. This morning, Taiman shot a missile into something into Tel Aviv. Someone killed. So Begula Asida Yigalu Kol Bnei Yisrael B'Kol Makom Shbeinim Soim. In the coming of Mashiach, all Jews are going to be gathered in. V'Dal Druchasam to the four sides of the world. But Pasuk Mevar, and the Pasuk teaches us Kesa Tiyad Gula. How's the Gula going to be? So how's the Gula going to be? The Pasuk says is Mikol Abra Ruchis, and come from all four sides. When it comes to the east and the west, it says, I'm going to bring in the children and gather. Ani, God himself, I'm going to bring in from the east, I'm going to bring in from the west, gather from the west. Here God is talking in the east and the west to the Jewish people. He's not talking to the east and the west themselves. When it comes to Taiman, the south, don't disrupt, don't stop what I'm trying to do. He's talking to Taiman. And he's talking to Taiman himself. Don't stop, don't try to uphold the redemption. When it comes to the north, we know that the bad starts from the north, like it says, it's going to start all from the north. Nemer Tani tells the north, you give, you help. Not only won't you disrupt, the north will help with the redemption. And this is the uniqueness of the Gula Sid of Mashiach. Even the north, Yisrael, the Gula is going to help to the redemption. Not only is not, when it comes to the Gula Sida, is no one going to be able to disrupt. The north is going to help. Why? I'm not going to be able to gather from the east and the west. Why is the Taiman not going to disrupt? Why is the north going to help? Is in the schus of the fathers, tzaddikim, shegam eitzel avos yiru nisim, because our forefathers had nisim, and just like they had nisim, we're going to also have miracles. V'dugus hanisim shebegul asida v'ad kan oimer tzafin v'ad she'oimer tzafin tani. That's why he says, tzafin, please help. So I want to wish everyone. I was going to watch the video, Reb Shimon, that we should have a Geula Mitis and Taka Teman shouldn't cause any trouble. The North should help. We should gather in from the East and the West. Good Shabbos and a good Yom Tif. Take care.